TV and radio show. Listen, I'm sitting here right here. We're gonna raise awareness right here with this video. First, I want to talk to you. So, tell me what's going on.
So, unfortunately, you've met us here today at Herring Funeral Home.
Mm-hmm.
We are planning a funeral for my 31-year-old sister,
Mm-hmm.
Jasmine Lily Teresia Jones Mcneill. She was taken to the hospital by her husband, Kevin.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
She told him that she had pain on the left side of her head and it was traveling down the left side of her body.
Mm-hmm.
He rushed her to the hospital, Cape Fear in Hope County. He told the staff there at the hospital, her head hurts really bad, she has pain on the left side, traveling down the left side of her body. The issue is, those are classic signs and symptoms of a stroke, and you don't need to have a medical degree to know that.
Right.
They never took Jasmine back for a blood pressure. They never screened her. They never even looked up on the computer and saw that she was there last October for high blood pressure. She sat for an hour and a half in the waiting room.
Right.
How do we know this? Between the phone calls that my brother-in-law made to his mom
Yes, timestamps.
and
Yep.
our mother, and when I spoke to him, and the times that he called in the hospital to see if they had taken his wife back yet,
Mm-hmm.
it was about an hour and a half.
From 8 o'clock until 9:26.
Mm-hmm.
During that time, we all know that with the stroke, they say time is tissue. They say that you don't have a lot of time. Jasmine was a fighter because for that hour and a half, she was having a stroke and she had all of her reflexes, all of her memory, everything was still there.
Mm-hmm.
They finally had my brother-in-law come back into the room,
Mm-hmm.
and he said it was probably about 15 minutes before he witnessed her go unresponsive. The
Okay.
last thing that
I told she was holding her head in a lot of pain. I told her, Jasmine, calm down. I'm right here. I'm right here. Everything's gonna be all right. She said okay to me. About that time, she went unresponsive.
Okay.
And the only comfort I have in that is that, saying that, it was almost like confirmation that she is okay.
Mm-hmm.
She's no longer with us, but she's at peace right now. But it didn't have to be that way.
No.
This was total
No.
negligence on Cape Fear Valley's part.
And what did the PA tell my brother-in-law?
Is she on drugs?
Mm-hmm.
The PA, that's what he
Is
said
she
to
on
him
drugs?
while he's witnessing her go
Oh, Lord.
unresponsive.
Mm-hmm.
Is she on drugs?
So at this
That's the
time,
plan I didn't get
I
that.
was texting and talking to him, and he said, you know, she's not talking, they're trying to get her to talk. So I texted him, I said, are they going to intubate her? He said, yes. At that time, they put him out of the hospital. So I drove down from Fuquay, picked up my mom and my other sister. I just wanted to see for myself before,
Mm-hmm.
we said anything to anyone else. We get there, and they still haven't let Kevin back in the hospital.
And until she said that
And I'm on the floor
was
bawling
a
and
nurse.
crying.
Yes.
Then they jumped.
I
And
had
then
got
too,
to-
Melissa said that she was a nurse. They were totally ignoring us, Kevin, and would not answer his questions or wouldn't even allow him to see her. But whenever Melissa got there, her sister, they started moving then because she knew the medical terminology that they use.
Right.
So I told Kevin, I said, call them and tell them to send the doctor out here to speak to us right now.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't send out the doctor, they sent out the nurse. So the nurse explains to us, well, she had a stroke and we can't airlift her because of the weather. We're gonna send her to Cape Fear, Fayetteville.
Mm-hmm.
In the Duke
We
ambulance.
told, yeah, with a Duke ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to wait on them to come.
Another hour.
So we
Yes.
told her, well, with all due respect, I respect what you do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a nurse as well, but the doctor should be talking to us. And I think we should be able to go and see her because you say this is serious.
Mm-hmm.
When they let us in there, the
We had
PA,
the right to see her.
we never saw a doctor. We saw the PA.
Mm-hmm.
My mother, myself, and Kevin, very smugly, he sat and crossed his leg and leaned back on his
Yep.
chair.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, Jasmine had a massive hemorrhagic stroke,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll let the neurosurgeon tell you that.
They never called him.
She has no reflexes. The CAT scan shows there's brain damage, but I'll let the neurosurgeon tell you that. And no one's gonna touch her. No one's gonna operate on her. But I'll let the neurosurgeon tell you that. That's how he spoke to us.
That's how nonchalant they were.
Condescending.
So when after that point, none of this was really registering the way that he was. We just wanted to get back there and see her. But he assured us. He told all three of us several times. They've accepted her at Cape Fear in Fayetteville, and a neurosurgeon
It's
Yeah,
waiting.
except
Has
for-
been
is
was
waiting for her.
was waiting.
Waiting.
So
for
we
her.
get to go back. They let us all. Kevin's mother and father were there. My mother, my sister. So they let us go and see her. So they had all stepped out, and when I'm back there and I'm noticing, the critical care team comes there. They took over the care for her at that time. The Cape. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me add this on. The rooms on that side she was on were empty.
Yep.
So you got my baby sister out there for an hour and a
And
half.
there was
no
no one
reason.
in the waiting room.
And there was no room. There was maybe 5 or 6 people. There was enough people in there to all be back there in the bed.
testify to that.
She
Yeah.
was there.
I was there.
There was
For
no one there.
something, I didn't know that my
There
little
was
It was
sister
a long
was
time in
there.
between, cause when
And
Kevin
I'm
called
telling you,
me
the nicest,
at
the,
home,
the,
I was telling him, well, Kevin, that's serious, if her head is hurting like that, keep calling him.
Stroke.
I said,
Yeah.
keep bugging them, I said, just keep
For
calling
sure
them,
understanding with
and
him.
you seen my wife yet, you know, that she have and so, he did, but I mean, he was still waiting in the parking lot, and she was waiting in the waiting room.
Until we
That was
came
wrong.
down there and demanded.
Yep.
I
So,
was there, but I
we
didn't
get
know.
to Cape
I didn't
Fear
know
and-
my baby
Bringing her
sister was
in.
there.
Once we
I
get to
was
Cape
there for
Fear, the
something else at the
neurosurgeon, he's
same
not even
hospital.
there. He doesn't even know what's going
He
on.
didn't even, he
He's
was
at
not
home.
informed.
Yes, the doctor said to us, it was in somewhere in, he kind of verbatim, he said, I did not know how critical Jasmine was until I got report from the critical care van.
So they lied to
I
us.
did not know that I needed to contact a neurosurgeon. The neurosurgeon was at home.
Yeah,
But he
Yeah.
got there within.
Yeah, he wasn't
he
even
looked
there.
like
They
he
lied
had
to us.
just rushed.
He said he did.
He did. He like literally was in there, came in, wrinkled, clothes thrown
He
on.
said it took him 10
Yeah,
minutes to get to
he
the
said
hospital.
he rushed.
And he said he never
and it
knew.
wasn't his,
Yep.
you know, he rushed as soon as he got word.
And when Kadena, her oldest sister, was in the waiting room, how many people was in there then? Still not a lot of
It
people.
wasn't, and
Was
the
it for
nicest,
them
I
not
can
to
say
give
that the
Jasmine
nicest
care?
person in that Hope County waiting room in the ER was the security guard, the white man.
Oh.
So my sister over here that's
I seen
speaking,
Mm-hmm.
And the lady
she
that
was in the
Kevin-
emergency room that same night, so she encountered the same rude and ignorant staff.
Yes,
So that's how she knows that they were rude and they were just,
yeah.
no
Ignoring
one,
her.
no one
They
checks
were,
on
and
these
I
patients
just,
in the waiting
I
room.
live 5 minutes from the main hospital, but I was like, I wanna go to the
Now.
one in Hope County.
Mhm.
I said to my
County
boyfriend,
service.
I said, take me to the one in Hope County, cause it's not that serious.
Yeah.
I had like a little rash from my treatment, and I went down there, and I didn't mind waiting an hour and a half. I didn't know my sister
You were
was
not
there.
life threatening. That's the
No,
difference.
I didn't know she was there, but they were smug, and they were unprofessional, and they left me sitting back there. After they came in, he looked, he said, oh yeah, it's a rash. Left me there for 45 minutes before they bring me my paperwork to go home. So I know that they did not do what they were supposed to do for my baby sister.
And then from that point, when we're, back at the hospital talking to the neurosurgeon that came in, that's when he tells us that he cannot do surgery on her because there was brain damage.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, they had to put her on, she was on a ventilator. At that point, they wanted to take her off of everything. And we were like, no, we're not, this is no.
This is
So they let us see her at the hospital.
After fighting to see her,
Yeah,
they just let us.
we had to, it was
Yep.
arguments and fighting, so just kind of fast forward to last Sunday, they called us,
November 15th.
they called us in for a family meeting. They only let a few of us go in there. With the first family meeting, they showed us pictures of her CAT scan, and they said this was just due to high blood pressure, and that's when they admitted at Cape Fear Fayetteville, had she been seen sooner, her life would have been
They
saved.
could
The first
Okay.
45
An hour and a half,
minutes.
that's ridiculous.
Yes.
Now,
they
to raise
did it.
awareness, now, what would you say to the people out there? To raise
Um,
Go to
awareness
Cape Fear.
Well, the issue is this.
to other families.
Everyone that any of us have spoken to or encountered has some kind of horror story associated with Cape Fear Medical Valley Center in Fayetteville and Cape Fear Medical Valley Center in Hope County. Somebody has a story. So you either go there to that emergency room and you die, you go there or you half die, or you go there for 6 months
I can
and
get
get
half dying.
misdiagnosed.
Yep.
Unfortunately, my sister that's speaking went there for 6 months being misdiagnosed.
Yeah.
Then they find out, oh, she has terminal cancer.
Mm-hmm.
I have had coworkers, everyone I spoke to that has encountered Cape Fear has a death, has something that happened. The problem is there is this bill
They're
called
crazy.
Senate Bill 33 that was passed by the Republican Senate in October of 2011. It basically protects
Text it off.
them from malpractice, negligence, wrongful death. It's designed to have you
Only in
exhaust
North
all your
Carolina.
funds. It's designed so that you don't win.
Only in North Carolina.
Only in North Carolina. So getting a lawyer in North Carolina is extremely difficult. The lawyer that we reached out to, first, who was it?
Henson first.
Yeah, Henson First. They're the one that told us about this bill and why they could not help us. So now we're having to look for legal counsel in Florida and in other states to help us out. So it's not just about what happened to Jasmine. For us, Jasmine is the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yep.
We're not going to take money to the side and hush and throw it away. Cape Fear has not been on the news yet about everything that happens to people, and this bill probably has a lot to do with
It does.
as to why. Sunday night, we learned that our sister, daughter, cousin, niece, auntie, wife, they had to take the ventilator away because she could not breathe without it. Once you are declared brain death, there's no policy of life, you can't stay on there. But I like to add that as soon as we got this news, a guy comes in asking us how do we feel about Jasmine donating her organs. So this is how Cape Fear is designed. You get this horrible, they mistreat you, they neglect you, something happens,
And they wait for you to die.
they wait for you to die or
Yeah.
almost there, and they send someone in there wanting organs as well.
In
And
the same hour.
yeah, this is all,
Yeah.
they told us like
All in the
five
same hour.
minutes
Are
later,
you serious?
here comes a guy
Literally right after.
asking for organs.
No
So
way.
we want people to be aware of Cape Fear.
Be careful
I'm
what
pretty
you
sure
say.
that people hear this story already know and already have a story to tell. We are going to bring awareness. We want everyone to know what happened to Jasmine, and we don't want any more Jasmines
And
in
she
any
did
waiting
not
room.
deserve that.
She didn't.
No, Jasmine was beautiful
Now.
inside and out.
In the last words, what would you like to see happen?
Change.
What about you?
Be
I
held
want
responsible.
Cape Fear to be responsible, accountable. I want them to admit it, and they need to implement a new program where somebody is in there. Since COVID, you can't have your support person with you in the emergency
Yep.
room. Well, why don't you send a nurse out there to
Mhm.
check on these patients?
And might I add, when I
Yeah.
finally was able to contact Jasmine and talk to her over the phone,
Mhm.
she told me at that moment she was still in the waiting area, and that she felt like something was wrong with her brain. Her head was still hurting real bad.
But up to
And she-
9:52, she was talking to her husband.
And she
Up to
told me that she
9:52.
was scared. So I feel like if I would have at least been able to sit with her in
Yes.
the waiting
He could
area
have
and comfort
advocated
her,
for her better.
she would have maybe felt a little better. Things may have been different.
They would have
But
been
one
having
point
anxiety.
a point that I made on my video, if Kevin would have went in that emergency room, and I know we all
She would have
know,
still been here.
no, if he would have went in that emergency room acting up,
Mm-hmm.
he's a black man.
Lock
Now
it.
he's an angry black man. Okay, let's escort him out to the parking lot. Oh, he might have been shot dead in the parking lot.
Mhm.
He goes in there acting crazy, acting up. They already assumed that she was on drugs.
Right.
So now here's her angry husband that's a black man. He's probably on drugs too. We could have had 2 fatalities on our hands.
That's what they think.
Because that's what they think. They think we're all on drugs or something's wrong. But we just, anyone that has an issue with Cape Fear, you have to bring awareness to it. Come forward, share your stories, tell us about it, because we have to do this in numbers, and this law, we need to get it overturned. We need to get it changed. Unfortunately, this boils down to politics
Mm-hmm.
and who you vote
The
for.
blue state.
What's his name? Tom Tillis?
Tillis.
Whatever.
That's what it comes down to. So if it's happened to you or a loved one, say something about it. Let people know so we can bring awareness to what happened to Jesmine. She is not going to go in vain, and she is not going to leave this earth and nobody knows her story, because she was 31 years old and she had a whole life planned ahead of her. Jesmine had no intention of going anywhere anytime soon. And those people on Friday the 13th, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. night shift at Cape Fear Valley, Polk County, they need to go first. And Cape Fear needs to make their people accountable, and they need to teach them about stroke awareness, because last I checked, if you're presenting symptoms of chest pain, you get an EKG and vital signs. If you're presenting symptoms of a stroke, you get a blood pressure taken, you get administered a clot buster, and you get IV blood pressure medication to bring it down. So had they done these simple things, Jesmine would have still been here today.
Yep.
Hashtag Jesmine's life matters. Hashtag don't let your loved ones die at Cape Fear.
Stay away from.
If you need somebody just to be your friend, if you need somebody that will be there with you until the end, call on Jesus, call his name, Jesus. No matter what you're going through, oh, he will. He'll make a way for you. Try him and I know he will. He will. He'll make a way. Yes, he will, yeah. When you're down in despair and there's no one there, when you're lost and you're feeling low and there's nowhere to go, call on Jesus. Call on Jesus. That's right, man, I know he will. He'll make a way for you. There's no doubt in my mind, I know the Lord will, yeah. He'll make a way for you. He will, yeah. If you need somebody just to be your friend, if you need somebody that'll go all the way with you till the end, call on Jesus. Call on Jesus. He will, yes he will, yeah. He'll make a way for you. Try to, man, I know he will. He'll make a way for you. Oh, Jesus. Call on the name. Jesus. Late in the midnight hour when you can't go to sleep, you got to call on Jesus. Call the name of Jesus. Somebody said he'll be a mother when your mother is gone, yeah. Call on the name of Jesus. Oh, Jesus. He'll make a way. Yes, he will. Jesus. Call on the name of Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Healing in the name. Healing in the name of Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Call on his name. No matter what you're going through, call on the name. He'll make a way out of no way. Call on the name. Can't nobody do you like Jesus. Can't nobody love you like Jesus. Power in the name. Healing in the name. Deliverance in the name. Jesus.